Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Leanne. Good to see Big Guns Edition being started by a group that only plays in the minigun space, really. So, Michael, thanks for the introduction. He's pretty much summed up our business pretty well and pretty quickly. We have local shopping centres that are in local catchments, predominantly with local tenants, and managed by a proud team of local people. There's two themes we focus on at SCA, and we always have: convenience and community. I'd like to share with you a story today, and I hope it resonates given some of the tragedies that have happened recently, about Tracy and Richard. Tracy is a hairdresser. Tracy owns a hairdressing shop in a small centre of ours in Townsville called Annandale. Richard is our facilities manager at the centre. Some of you may know, most of you should know, far north Queensland was hit by a 1 in a 500-year flood event recently, which was devastating. During the flood, Tracy called Richard, said, "Richard, thanks for all the efforts you've done today in securing the centre and making sure that we're dry, but we've got a situation. There's 30 families outside our door. They've lost their homes. The roads are flooded. They've nowhere to go. Can we open the centre, please?" Richard was on Magnetic Island at the time, making sure that his mum and dad's house wasn't going to get flooded, sandbagging it. Richard didn't think about it too long. He didn't call 10 different people up for approval. Richard made a decision. He said, "Yes, absolutely, and as soon as I can, I'll get more cleaners and I'll get more security to site. The centre will be open for you in minutes." We sheltered 30 families that night. Tracy kept her shop open. She cut hair, she dried hair, people and pets. Our cafe owner provided tea and coffee and biscuits to everybody overnight. Coles provided essentials, toiletries, etc. And in the true Aussie way, our bottle shop owner made sure that anybody who needed a cleansing ale had access to it. The feedback we received the next day was overwhelming. Words like "loyal forever" spring to mind. You can't measure that. It's an intangible. It reminded me of an early conversation that Michael and I had when we first set up SCA, and we were talking about what we were focused on, and Michael said, and I'm not going to do an impersonation like Stuart does because I'm not very good at them, but Michael said, "Sid, I think you're onto something." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "There's an old adage, if you improve the social fabric, the business will come." We have been focused in a very small way through our 7-year history in improving the social fabric. We say that humbly because our success is only because of our tenants, our retailers and our community success. And even the Tracy and Richard example, it was Tracy's initiative as a tenant. It was Tracy's endeavour. Richard merely enabled it. We do have a great, small, passionate team of diverse thinkers who can come from diverse genders, ethnicities, background, education and localities, which contribute to that. When we first listed, we had 69 centres. We now have 96. We've gone from $1.5 billion of assets under management to $3.5 billion. We've had comparable NOI growth consistently of 2.5% to 3.5%. Our specialty occupancy cost remains at 9.4%. We have less than 1% of tenants on holdover. That makes us proud. But what makes our team more proud is how our tenants are doing. We had a look at every centre we owned for the last 5 years and had a look at the specialty pie, sales pie that is, that went through those centres 5 years ago, and the dollars going through the till today. Our specialty tenant sales have increased by 40% in those 5 years. Uncompounded, that's 8% growth per annum. Our anchors in the same period have grown double digits. There's a lot of noise in the media and a lot of noise with analysts that retail is changing. Some call it the retail apocalypse. Retail's always been changing. People are always changing. Consumers are always changing. Our needs are changing. It's truly the one constant. We will keep doing it simple. We'll keep to our convenience. We'll keep to our communities. We won't be talking a lot of buzzwords. We'll be making sure that in the small ways that we can, we'll improve the social fabric, and we'll trust that the business will come. Thank you.